when the weapons of mass destruction thing turned out not to be true, I expected the American people to rise up. They didn't. Then, when the Abu Ghraib torture thing surfaced, and it was revealed that our government participated in rendition, a practice where we kidnap people and turn them over to regimes who specialize in torture, I was sure then the American people would be heard from. We stood mute. Then came the news that we jailed thousands of so-called terrorist suspects, locked them up without the right to a trial or even the right to confront their accusers. Certainly, we would never stand for that. We did. And now it's been discovered the executive branch has been conducting massive illegal domestic surveillance on its own citizens. You and me. And I at least consoled myself that finally, the American people will have had enough. Evidently, we haven't. In fact, if the people of this country have spoken the messages, we're okay with it all. Torture, warrantless search and seizures, illegal wiretappings, prison without a fair trial, or any trial, war on false pretenses. We as a citizenry are apparently not offended. There are no demonstrations on college campuses. In fact, there's no clear indication that young people even seem to notice. Well, Melissa Hughes noticed. Now, you might think, instead of withholding her taxes, she could have protested the old-fashioned way, made a placard and demonstrated at a presidential or vice presidential appearance. But we've lost the right to that as well. The Secret Service can now declare free speech zones to contain, control, and in effect, criminalize protest. Stop for a second and try to fathom that.
Music we play is geared for you to think. So for those of you who don't think too much, I'm just telling you about that shit before we drop it on you.
I woke up inspired by Miss Indie Boutique, and from Amplify, she posted a link and grouped me, had me thinking about O365. I'm new here in the new year. 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 I'm new here. Every drive from the 216 to the 215, I feel kinda like I'm getting baptized. I'm new here in the new year. I'm new here in the new year. My stocks up, the market's down. They should back up currency with my lyrical pounds, pure gold. You're in the know, believe in 2016 election ain't going down. These candidates are mockeries. I was just telling Jay the other day we're in the first stage of idiocracy, cause they build Cosby, sacred symbology on both sides of the coin. Free bill with free will, are you free still to come and go as you please? Everywhere you go you gotta show ID. On the 5th, I pleased the 5th. My whistleblower was the Statue of Liberty. It's very alarming, new armies I'm armed, and check the army at the bottom of my sleeves. Bombing Lockheed Martin greed, cause real billionaires could end with poverty 4 times over. Yet they tell people that poverty's taking over. So now enter Sankofa with my soldiers taking control of the people trolling, because the future will be over if we don't stop every day. There's literally no room for mistakes. Calendars overcrowded. I threw January 1 away. The forecast says the cloud coverage is high, browse coverage is high. Now your best bet isn't for finding brothers. If I felt a thigh, hip-hop never died, but we all did inside, cause we let the zombies eat and survive. There's hell in halos, nothing good comes from me saying goodbye. And as always, none of this is ever in vain, man. This is for K, man. Amen. Think it's not illegal yet.
And what I'm most sick and tired of is how every time somebody disagrees with how the government is running things, he or she is labeled un-American.
Evidently, it's speech time.
And speech in this country is free, you hack. Free for me, free for you, free for Melissa Hughes to stand up to her government and say, stick it.
Objection!
I object to government abusing its power to squash the constitutional freedoms of its citizenry. And God forbid anybody challenge it. They're smeared as being a heretic. Last night, I went to bed with a book. Not as much fun as a 29-year-old. But the book contained a speech by Adlai Stevenson. The year was 1952. He said, "The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live, and fear breeds repression. Too often, sinister threats to the Bill of Rights, to freedom of the mind, are concealed under the patriotic cloak of anti-communism." Today, it's the cloak of anti-terrorism. Stevenson also remarked, "It's far easier to fight for principles than to live up to them."